are you doing? I hope you're doing well. I really hope and wish and pray that all would have a lively relationship with God. God is everything. He is so funny. Um, I was just joking with him, or maybe he was joking with me, but all I know is I was laughing hard because he brought to my mind, no man has seen the face of God and lived. And I said, well, they can see it, but they ain't gonna be alive. And then there are other parts and other experiences where people have seen a face of God. I was just remembering something. So, God has been revealing to me deeper and deeper things in His Word. I encourage all to read and reread and read and reread again. And ask God as you are reading and rereading to give you your daily bread, your daily portion of what it is that He wants you to know. It is amazing to me how, what was it, Lord, like 5 years ago? He said to me, as in the days of Noah, and I thought that it was just going to be one video, and it has turned into a lifetime. And I don't think I will ever get to the bottom of as in the days of Noah, because there was so much going on in the days of Noah that in the end days, don't forget the S on the end, okay? They're going to be reflective of the days of Noah. So God will always lead me where He wants me to go. And this week He was showing me how the tree of knowledge of good and evil, there are many interpretations to that. One being a shaft, okay? And it was as He was talking to me about Cain and the mark of Cain and what it meant to be marked. I came across image technology in the Garden of Eden, and it's something that I'm still wrestling with, so I don't want to go deep into that. However, what does it mean to be in the image of God, or to be made in the image of God? It means a lot of things. It can mean our form is made in His image. It can mean our will is made in His image. It can mean our personality is made in God's image. And He has been talking to me about how certain things were the Elohim, the council, and how other things were singular. So forgive me if I am still not comfortable in my speech with knowing when to apply what. I am learning, just like all of us are learning, in their image, okay? The Word of God is so deep. It's so deep. you have to take your time with it, or it has to take its time with you. So, like I said, God has been going over the technology of the Garden of Eden, and even just the technology of Eden, which was the earth at that time. There are so many things that people attribute to those who did not invent those things. However, they get the credit for it, and it is okay. But one of the things that he was having me look into was this image technology and the mark of Cain, and how Cain was a servant and Abel was a ruler. Then he began to show me how he said that Adam, yes, it was the name of a man, but it was also the name of a people. And that blew my mind, because I was like, what? And him going deeper into how was Eve made, and what was Eve. I woke up this morning and I said to God, I said, God, were Adam and Eve related? And it was just one of those things where I was like, flesh of my flesh, bone of my bone. And he's washing my mind and my ideas of relationships. He's starting to show me a higher purpose for relationships. And I honestly had to thank him for keeping me, because he has kept me. And there have been times when I have tried to get into relationships, but they just did not work out. And it's because I am being transformed. So who I will be is not who I am now. And the person, if I end up with a person, they are also going through transformation as well. However, I don't want to get too much into all of that. But it is fascinating when you look at relationships through God's eyes. Many of what is called love, it's not love. Many of what is called marriage is not marriage. So many people are hurting, and God whispered to me, he said, the hearts of man will grow cold. And I said, it's happening. I'm seeing it in front of me. We have so many relationship gurus, on the internet that tell you what to look for, but all of it is sin, and all of it is going to lead you astray, and all of it is going to leave you not satisfied and emptied. Because honestly, if you want to be in a relationship, it's not about what you're going to get. It's honestly about what you're going to give. Hence why through Paul, we were told, if you can remain single, it is good. But if you must marry, meaning you cannot refrain yourself from sex, then it is better to marry than to burn. However, when we cross over, we will no longer participate in the ritual called marriage, because we will be married to God. All right, so he had me looking again at Cain and Abel, and he said some things to me that like I said, I'm still trying to wrap my head around it. I'm processing. And so until I process it myself, I will not pass it along to you. However, you might want to pray and understand the technology of the garden. Okay, so the presence of God has to do with the image. Adam and Eve, or Adam and his wife, she was not called Eve until after the fall. Yes. So she was not called Eve until after the fall. So it says that the tree, they ate of it, right? Or they used it, or they took of it. Okay, when you look at the Hebrew words and you do a study on the words and you go deeper into what the words mean, you come out with deeper revelation. So I was reading that, and God highlighted another portion for me, and I have seen it. Well, let me say it like this. I saw it before, but I didn't see it until today. And now that I have seen it, I can no longer just ignore what it says. So it says that after they ate the fruit, or after they used, okay, the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, there is many knowledge out there, because that's why there's specifications on the type of fruit and knowledge that one would gain. So when Eve looked at the tree, she perceived it to be abundant, and she wanted to be wise. She wanted to have an image. That's what I'm going to say. That's how I'm going to say that. She wanted to have an image of being wise like the gods, okay? And there's a reason why the serpent, Gadriel, went to Eve and not to Adam. But y'all ain't ready. All right, so, and it's not the reasons that you think, okay? It's not these red pill reasons that you think. So the part where they ate the fruit and then they knew that they were naked, so they sew fig leaves together. I don't think they sewed fig leaves together, because have you ever seen a fig leaf? And I was like, how small were they, Lord? You know, what were they trying to cover? You know? Because, you know, a fig leaf for me ain't gonna cover much. I don't know about y'all, but for me it ain't gonna cover much. And then God made them robes, okay? But it says that they heard the sound of God walking in the cool of day, and that they hid themselves from the presence of God. And this is the part that God highlighted for me, and I will never be able to unsee it again. God said, "Where are you?" And Adam said, "I knew that I was naked, so I hid myself." And God said, "Who told you that you were naked?" There is a mystery and a key in that statement. God could have said so many other things, but the fact that he said, "Who told you?" points to a conversation or conversations. So there is a code within that is pointing to what actually happened at the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. There are many different ideas floating around now, as if, Adam and Eve didn't have flesh before the fall. However, they had flesh before the fall, because how can you be naked and then run to sew fig leaves to cover yourself if you do not have a body? Adam had a body, okay, because it tells you that he was formed. And when God talks about the rib, it talks about the side. And God has been going into what that actually is. However, it is not time for that to be revealed for everyone. Some things are personal revelation, okay? As it be unto you, for you. But there's something about the side of Adam, and it is high science and very scientific, and it has to deal with cells and the shape of a cell, a particular one. And thinking about the technology. So why would God say, "Who told you?" Who told you that you were naked? That is huge into what actually happened. God will give me things, and because I believe him, I share them. I don't always myself understand what I am sharing, because like those that listen to my videos, it is deep waters. And in the cycle of time, I get more and more confirmation. There are people out here that are saying that it was sex that took place, and that's what the fruit was of the knowledge of good and evil. However, that is not what happened there. It's not sex, because sex did not happen until outside of the garden, when it says that Adam knew his wife and she conceived. And I wanted to share with y'all, I don't know why we have willingly believed that, they were using knives, swords, and shields. That is not technology, okay? The things that were taught were high science and technology. And if we are going back to the future, and we are starting to recognize depictions of technology that we have now, and we see technology that we have not yet remembered or rediscovered or has been shared amongst the multitudes. Why do we think that the angels taught how to put makeup on? That is insulting to angels. What they were doing was they were altering the image. They were doing plastic surgery. They were doing magic tricks when it comes to what people look like, okay? Also with the workings of metals and different things. I will not publicly say the things that I have been shown about that, but you guys need to think higher than swords, shields, and cannons. You need to think nuclear. You need to think the ability to wipe out precisely. Yes. There's lots going on with the sea, though, because I had another sea dream and another dream about sharks. This dream in particular was very interesting because the shark actually came up on the shore because someone had built a little Safeway canal for the shark to come up on the shore. And it's almost like the sharks are hungry, like there's not enough food in the ocean, because the shark was very aggressive and was trying to grab anything that it could from off the shore, but it was the shore that was in the in the water. So like the tide, you know how you walk on the skirt of the beach. Well, those of you that live near beaches, you might want to make sure that there are not sharks that can come up and surprise you. And in this particular dream, the shark was trying to go for a dog. However, the dog was saved by pulling the dog's ear and pulling it out of the water so that the shark could not eat it. But and my dreams are showing me that there's unrest within the sea. There is something going on in the sea, and it is affecting the sharks. The sharks are becoming more aggressive, and they are in attack mode. They are in survival mode. They are in we will do anything to survive, even if it means risking our life by swimming in inches of water. Yeah. What else? So, yes, why would God say, "Who told you?" God already knew that the conversation had happened with Gadriel. God already knew that. So he wanted to know who told you and what were the secrets that you think you learned. The next thing that God pointed out to me was how it says that Eve, he asked Eve, like, okay, so what happened and why did you do this? And she said, well, the serpent beguiled me. Oh, yes, 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 yes. Thank you, Lord. Yes. So when I was looking into the word for serpent, I happened to come across deeper meaning, and it said to whisper enchantments and spells. And I just said, well, that totally fits my series, The Whispers of Satan. And okay, so beguiled means to seduce, lead astray, lie, that kind of thing. And so Eve said that the serpent seduced her, lied to her, and led her astray. Then, he turns to the serpent, and if the serpent was a snake, he wouldn't have used the word cattle. He wouldn't have used beast of the field. And like I have said from the beginning, you guys really need to study the kingdoms and the governments of God and how they are set up. The other day I was having a conversation with my mother and explaining to her how demons are not the fallen angels, but demons are the children of the fallen angels. And they are trapped here on the earth. They cannot go where Lucifer can go. So when Lucifer reports with the sons of God, there are no demons there. Also, Lucifer is not locked up because Lucifer did not partake in what the 200 that were on the top of the mountain and the oath that they took to take wives. Yes, was he there? Did he, say, oh yeah, you should do that? Yeah, of course he did. But did he himself do it? No. He has not yet been judged. And a lot of people, what they think is witchcraft is not witchcraft. And what they think is, the devil's lair, and oh, well, he must be over this and this and that. No, because when you really study and you know that one thing has nothing to do with the other. And when you read the scripture, it never says that Lucifer is with demons. Never says that. Never says that Satan is with demons. Yes, it says that Satan is going to go down and he's going to get the keys, and he, the kings are going to meet him. Well, what kings? Well, chiefs, kings, giants, Gog and Magog, okay? And that's how come God says my people die from a lack of knowledge. It's not the knowing. You don't need to know everything, but you do need to know the right things. And that's just like with Giza. There's going to be more and more things coming out about that point to that being an altar and a pillar built to God, Isaiah 19:19, and how it was built by Enoch. And God has been telling me the writings on the wall. And I was like, okay, so are the books of Enoch, are they writings upon the wall? Or are they tablets? Like what is it? And I feel like it's a mixture of things. But yes, why would God say, who told you? It infers that knowledge of good and evil has to be shared through the mouth, through the telling. And I'll leave that right there. All right, later guys, I'll be back.